All right, y'all. So Joe Smith Jr. defeats Bernard, the alien Hopkins, in an eighth round via TKO stoppage or knockout stoppage. Now, this actually was a very bizarre knockout stoppage. Okay, before I get into that, let me go break down the fight a little bit. Bernard Hopkins, actually, I had him winning the fight slightly. It was pretty close. It was a competitive fight. Bernard looked a lot better and much more sharper in this fight than he did against Sergey Kovalev. Okay, because in the Kovalev fight, he looked much more older. He looked, you know, yeah, he was fighting mostly in survival mode in that fight. So, in this particular fight, he was back in his own groove. He was back into his own comfort zone, like you've seen him in his previous fights. But Joe Smith Jr. had some success by pressuring him, but he made a mistake by following Bernard most of the time in the ring. He was cutting off the ring to some success, but Bernard's being very elusive. He was able to negate and evade the combination punching by Joe Smith Jr. And Joe Smith Jr. I am a little impressed by because he actually does. I'm pretty impressed by the guy. He does have some good boxing ability. He does know how to control his distance. He has a good jab. He does display some technicality. So I think he can make a play at the light heavyweight division. I know he is the one of the top rated fighters at the WBC sanctioning bodies. So after this victory, he does inch, pretty much a one step closer to Adonis Stevenson. And if they were to fight, I would have to favor Stevenson to win it. But in a competitive fashion, I don't expect Stevenson to dominate. But anyhow, let me get to the stoppage here because in the eighth round, like I said, I had Hopkins up on the card slightly, I think about a round or two. But, Bernard was backed into a corner. And, of course, he was fighting off the ropes on the majority of the fight because he had some success by, counter punching with some lead rights and some, short right hooks because Joe Smith was very vulnerable to those counters. And Joe Smith caught Bernard with a crunching right with another left and a combination, with a right hook combination, and he knocked Bernard Hopkins out of the ring. It's not funny, but damn, he knocked him out of the ring. And I think according to the rule book, if you get knocked out of the ring, if you have consciousness, you do have 20 seconds to get in. That's what I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. But the referee was counting to 20, and Bernard Hopkins claimed that Joe Smith pushed him out of the ring. Now, again, Bernard Hopkins was not knocked out cold. He was not knocked unconscious or anything. He still had his senses. He got knocked out of the ring and laid onto his back. He claimed he got knocked out of the ring. He claimed that I could stand, but my ankle's hurt. He claimed he injured his ankle when he was pushed out of the ring. Now, I seen the replay twice just to confirm my eyes were correct. Bernard did not get pushed out of the ring, okay? He got punched out of the ring. And I like Bernard, but I got to call it for what it is. He got punched out of the ring. And when he fell out of the ring, I couldn't see how he injured his ankle. I couldn't see how. Now, if somebody can help me understand how he injured his ankle, please let me know. But if he didn't injure his ankle, he tried to pull another Antoine Eccles and a Robert Allen, or hell, even a Jad Dawson, okay? What I mean by that is that when he got thrown out of the ring or something like that, or thrown down, or whatever the case may be, he was trying to cite an injury to not continue to fight. Now, am I saying that he's faking an injury? Who knows? But it's just an odd way how this fight ended, man. And I know this is Bernard's last fight, but dude, it's just like you don't want to go out like this, man. I understand you can't win all the time. A lot of great fighters don't win their last fights in their careers. I mean, you got Oscar De La Hoya, who got stopped in his last fight of his career. Costa Tszyu got stopped in his last fight of his career. Mike Tyson got stopped, or actually he quit on the stool, obviously. He quit on the stool. Ezra Charles lost his last fight of his career. I mean, a lot of great fighters, all-time great fighters, in their careers, with losing, either as a decision or stoppage, like Felix Trinidad lost his last fight of his career. So it happens to a lot of great fighters. But, in this case for Bernard, I don't think he has no reason to be ashamed of. He fought a very good fight until that like I said, to that weird stoppage. And again, I think the mistake he made is that he fought too much on the back foot. I think there was times in the fight he could have backed up Joe Smith Jr. He could have pressured him a little bit, but I guess he wanted to stick to a game plan. He didn't want to be taken off of it or something like that because he felt that Joe Smith was just being he was too vulnerable with the counters. So, which is true, he was getting countered repeatedly in the fight. He didn't have no answers for the for the right short right hooks coming in. So I mean, the thing about Joe Smith is that he needs to show a little bit more head movement, when he puts up his guards. But yeah, he definitely made history, Joe Smith Jr. So he's the only man to stop the legendary Bernard Hopkins. But like I said, he stopped him in a very bizarre way. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close out this post-fight vid. All I can say is, again, Bernard, even though the fight did end in a bizarre circumstance, you have no reason to be ashamed. You can keep your head held up high. Had a very, very great illustrious career, particularly at middleweight. You had a very good career at light heavyweight, so no reason to be ashamed, man. I mean, sometimes you gotta. I mean, you do have to call it quits when it comes to fighting. So, Bernard will definitely do good as a executive golden boy like he's been doing. Being an analyst for HBO like he always been doing. So, yeah, he won't starve. So, yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts are about this bizarre knockout loss by that Bernard Hopkins has sustained from Joe Smith Jr. Where do you see Joe Smith Jr. going from here? Do you see him as a viable opponent to Adonis Stevenson? How do you think he'll do well against guys like Stevenson or Elidia Alvarez or Andre Ward? Now, if you ask me, Andre Ward will definitely outclass this guy, I think, right now. But I don't think he'll do it in a dominating fashion. I think he'll outclass him. So, or Arthur Peterbiev or Nathan Cleverly, how you think he'll do against a guy like Nathan Cleverly? So yeah, Joe Smith Jr. is on the roll. I'm out.